We're going
We
live.
interrupt what
I'm
you-
gonna go- Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, here we are. Sorry about that, boys and girls. We had some technical problem. Restream added a feature that they didn't tell us about, so we went to go live. It wanted us to schedule an event. Well, I don't need to schedule an event. I just hit go live, and then we go live. So again, apologize for that. Again, the computer world is just the computer world, and that's all we could do. And then, of course, we have a guest in the wing. We'll bring him on here in just a couple of minutes. But yeah, so I just wanted to apologize and say, hey, sorry guys. It's just an issue of the computer world not being nice, being snarky. But yeah, when they do an update, they should send you an email or a text message, say, hey, we changed this format. You have to schedule it. You have to go on and schedule a time. I think Brenda found it on her screen because she's sitting in the command center with hers. It said unschedule. So maybe it was something that they changed and added or something, and we didn't catch it. So it's yeah. So yeah, I just see everybody coming in the rooms. We got X. Facebook, boots in the ground. They're all coming back. Thank you. I have a little counter up here. So we are live. But yeah, I got a couple text messages. Are you going live? Yeah, we're going live tonight. But what we're gonna do is I only have one camera up and running. The other camera, we had to shut down everything. You just get to see my pretty face from the front, which that's fine. It's not about me, it's about the guests. So yeah, a lot of things going on. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Brenda's mom and dad are in here. Glad you here. You got it done. Yeah, right. I know. I'm sitting there. Time to go. Hit click. And it's saying schedule me. Oh, you vape. A lot of things going on in the city that for some reason the city of Erie just doesn't get it. That you cannot write an ordinance to supersede the Constitution of Pennsylvania and the United States. Now, the guy that I'm going to bring on here, Brenda, if you've got him, just go ahead and bring him on camera. I hope I put his hair and makeup on. Can you hear and see me okay?
Yes, I definitely can.
Oh, okay, good. Because man, I'll tell you what, with all the gremlins running around, I was like, great, we're gonna have Justin come in here. But I met Justin a couple years ago. He was online and he had a great organization called Open Carry PA. And I was like, man, these guys are pretty cool. So, we started chit chatting and they said, hey, we're going to do these gun walks. We're going to do all this fun, cool stuff. And then it really got, the city of Erie, they messed around and found out how it is the power of the people to push back and say, you know what, you're wrong. So tell us about you and Open Carry PA.
Well, for everybody new here, my name is Justin. Born and raised here in Erie, Pennsylvania. Decided to get started back, I don't know now, like 12, 13 years ago.
Time flies.
Decided to go on an open carry walk just by myself. And that was at the time the city had foot patrol and bicycle units on downtown Erie. I got stopped by a police officer for just simply openly carrying. He didn't really give me too much of an issue, just asked me what I was doing and just kind of informed him what I was doing. At that time, another officer ran up on foot and he was very hostile, just came off really heated. asked me why I needed a firearm, why do I need to have it on my side, why I can't leave it at home, that he's going to go ahead and call the sheriff's office and get my carry permit revoked because he says if you have a carry permit, that means you have to conceal carry it, which I told him that is false information. It's not a concealed carry permit. It's a license to carry firearm permit. It just makes sure that if you go into a moving vehicle or other type of transportation, or you do have it concealed, you're covered by law because you have the license to carry firearm permit on you. After going through all of that, talking with the chief of police and internal investigations, because I filed a grievance with the Erie Police Department, they retrain their officers on how to handle anyone that does open carry. After which such, I held multiple rallies inside Perry Square without any issues or any problems. Unfortunately, of course, when you do this kind of stuff or behavior, you have people that don't agree with what you're doing. And then one of those occupiers, remember the Occupy Wall Street movement
Yep.
when they took over the gazebo? Well, one of those guys decided to bring up to city council that they had an ordinance on the books about that no one can have firearms in Perry Square. As a lot of people are aware, Perry Square is a public space, not a private space. You know, taxpayer money goes to take care of the well-being of Perry Square. Well, after that was said, at the time, city solicitor at the time decided that I could have a rally, but I cannot bring firearms into Perry Square, which completely defeats the purpose of why we were protesting in the first place. So we decided to ignore the ordinance, and also with my great attorney at the time, Joshua Prince, which many of you guys have heard or are aware of, was representing me at the time. He was in attendance at the day that we held a rally in Perry Square. The police decided to walk up to us and ask us for our identification, in which Josh replied that he's the attorney representing the organization and that any questions can be directed towards him, and that we're not going to comply and hand over our driver's license. At that time, the police decided to make another tactic by writing down the license plates of all the cars in the area, going through JNet, which basically pulls up your license plate and also your driver's license picture, and try to match your picture on JNet with your actual driver's license and who was in attendance at the rally, so they can mail you out a citation. After that, of course, I took the city of Erie to court, and after about a 9.5 month court battle, we won unanimously in the state superior court, which was 9-0, and we decided to, continue on moving after that win.
Yeah, and I tell you what, and then that day that I was invited down, I provided the speakers, and we had great people present, giving presentations out. It was peaceful. Nobody set a Tesla on fire. We didn't burn the gazebo down. It was just people coming together and open carry. Now, there was the Erie 8. There was actually 8 of us that actually had to go to court. Now, being in law enforcement, my life, that's the first time I was on the other side of the jury box. Because, man, I tell you what, that's really awakening. So it was the Erie 8, and you can Google this up. You can find the whole story online. What was the ticket was like $280, I believe. If I'm not, I can't remember the number.
Yeah, I think it was like 220, $280.
I
It
can't
was
remember.
a civil citation, which then also got dismissed with the injunction from the Superior Court.
Right, because they violated our civil rights, and that's the
Yeah.
bottom line. And again, nothing against Erie PD. They didn't know. They learned. Uh, you know, we went to court. The cops were, really nice, and it was fun to watch. Joshua Prince, which we had on our show last week on Sunday. Matter of fact, his information is still scrolling at the bottom there because he was He was here pitching for his new run, and so now let's talk about what's going on with this city of Erie council. They have puffed their chest up. They're running around like they're gun experts, and they're trying to write a cite, not a citation, a ordinance to ban. I don't even know what a ghost gun is because every time I look, they don't exist. It's like the media with their assault rifles. It's a term that the media slapped on there, and the Democrats drilled down on there. So you had a little conversation with Chuck Nelson about this. You showed me the text. If you want to share that, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. We'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, I did have a conversation with him, just trying to get his feedback on how a city council member that's elected as a controller has really any say about firearms in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Apparently, another council member is taking a page out of the playbook from Philadelphia because Philadelphia enacted an ordinance very similar, which they are going to now implement here in Erie County, which again, there is already legal stuff in the background that is going on that hasn't been completely settled.
Right, because I actually reached out to Dr. Fennell, and I said, "What's your spin on this?" Because he's a great gun guy. This guy knows more about guns and law than anybody I know, other than Joshua Prince. He goes, "Brian, this is exactly what they're doing. They saw the court case in Philadelphia actually get a little bit of traction, but however, Dr. Fennell and his group are the ones actually filing the appeal to take that out of Philly and get that struck right down. So that's my prediction. The liberal courts in Philadelphia are going to side with them, which they did to ban them, but then they put an appeal in, and that's where the appeal process is right now. I talked to Dr. Fennell the other day. He called. I sent him a text and I said, "Hey, I'm glad you're back, fighting with the gang to help with the people in their civil rights, because you know what, this is a Second Amendment, and it's plain and simple. We tried to talk to the city of Erie. They didn't want to listen. They had to be schooled on, you can't write a city ordinance to supersede the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or the United States. Well, they got a good lesson. I think that was a 7-0 verdict. These people don't even agree on lunch, let alone something like the Second Amendment. And so I'm always thankful to Joshua Prince, for what he did for all of us, and he put us in the map. So I mean, what's your spin? Why do you think they're doing this? Is this a saber rattling thing? Because the Democrats right now are sitting at a 27 approval rating. They're just trying to muster some love from their party in between burning Teslas.
I honestly think it has to do with, the Second Amendment and guns in particular is a hot button subject. So anytime you bring it up or you even put it in the news, you gain a lot of traction,
Right.
especially from us. And that gives them that clout, that extra push, that edge. They're running for office. They're trying to get their name out there. So when they're running for a different office in their political party, they could say, well, I did this and I did that. And it's just another little check on their list of things that they have accomplished.
Yeah, I go with the look at me syndrome. Look what I did. Yeah, we lost the case because those big bad gunners and NRA and Open Carry PA and Gunners of America, they pushed their agenda through. No, it's called the Constitution. There's one for the Commonwealth and there's one for all of us. So yeah, I mean, there was just, now the news has picked it up. I was just reading an article on Channel 24, their online edition, about it. So I think we're going to have to stop down. They have a first read coming up on their city ordinance, and then next month it'll be the second read, and that's where they'll vote for it. I mean, it's going to pass. I mean, there's 7 Democrats there, and they're all going to, already made the deal, and Dr. Tyler Titus is the one writing it, which I didn't even know he even knew what a firearm was, let alone he probably just went to Philadelphia and took a Xerox copy of it and put their name on it. But yeah, so I mean, this is why We have people like you, myself. I was joking on the show the other day when they ever did a story about the Erie Eight. I was always the last one, and I could never figure out why. You know why I was that I figured it out. I was the oldest. I was the oldest person in the group, so they did it by age. So yeah, Chris Phillips wanted to come on tonight, but he's doing that whole Republican thing called, oh, I don't know, working. So he said he was gonna try to listen in and maybe call in later. So yeah, I mean, if they want to get a hold of you, and we want the people to check out your Facebook page. What's the official Facebook page?
Open Carry, Pennsylvania. You should. I'll be right on there. You should see like a little emblem. I wish I could show what it's an eagle with a firearm. You should see it with also the Pennsylvania badge, the icon.
Right. Yeah, it has the keystone, and it has I think it's
Yeah,
a 1911 if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Um,
it is.
yeah, it's what I thought. But yeah, Open Carry PA, reach out to Justin if you want to get a kind of help us with this deal. This thing's never going to stop. Um, it's not going to stop. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep chipping away, just like when we were working with Dan Laughlin with his reelection. He put out a pamphlet, one-sided pamphlet at the time of last year, right before November. There was 53 pieces of gun legislation. I can't talk tonight. Gun legislation to take our gun rights away. 53, and I was like, wow. So if you don't think that these Democrats aren't behind the scenes pushing to take our gun rights away, it's so funny. You listen to the saber rattling, and you listen to the Democrats, and they're like, "You guys are a threat to democracy. We're the ones standing up and fighting for your rights, and they're the ones trying to shred it when they're looking behind you." So yeah. So other than that, I appreciate it. I think this is going to be a hot button topic. And I think you and me and the gang need to talk a little bit about maybe making an appearance at city council meetings, because I was watching a video the other day. City council meetings, there was two people there, two people, and they complained, "Oh no, we're not transparent." Nope, there was two people there, but then they're sneaky. They do them in the morning, and then they do one at night. So yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he just sent a text. So go ahead. I'm just talking. You can talk too. I share.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt, but
Oh,
I also wanted to add, as many times as I went down to Harrisburg or met up with Kim Stolfer from FOAC, the thing that a lot of people don't understand are these people are working around the clock, literally Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. They are in Harrisburg. They are at the Capitol building talking to your elected officials and at like Ceasefire, Pennsylvania. They are in there every single day. I am not exaggerating. Every single time I've been in there, even if it's not a planned rally or event, they are in the hallway. They have, I don't know if you want to call it single mothers that have plenty of time on their hands. I really don't know. They got these shirts dressed up. It says "Mothers Demand Action," "Mothers Against Gun Violence." They're teachers. They try to get into everybody's feelings by going, "Well, I'm a mother and I've lost a loved one to gun violence," and so on and so forth. And they're sitting there constantly pounding all day, every day, constantly relentless. And they can because they're financed by, the Democratic wheel of, funds that pay them to be down there to continuously harass our elected officials. And unfortunately, it does work. They're constantly in their face, and they have money to throw at them where they can go, "Hey, we would really like your support on a handgun ban or an assault rifle ban or whatever else that they can think of," like this stuff coming up into Erie from Philadelphia. You know, uh, Kim used to have a demonstration when he was on the podium, when he was speaking and having these engagements. He would bring out a page of paper and throw it out at the crowd, and it would be taped 47 pages long of just this month's gun bills that are up for considerations to restrict your rights. While we're, just on Facebook tweeting away, and we have not a clue until it's up for second consideration, or if not, almost to be passed, because we're clueless of what's going on down there.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Kim. Now that's Firearm Owners Against Crime,
Against
correct? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Great guy. I think he was a Marine, Vietnam Marine, and so this guy has been literally fighting his whole entire life for his country. Great.
At least 30, 40 years.
Oh, absolutely. And I was at a presentation where he literally did that. He had this, you couldn't see it, and he took a roll and it rolled across the floor. He goes, "This is the legislation that they're trying to put into play right now. They're always, always, always chipping away. And how do we stop it? Is we stand up and we say no."
Absolutely. You have to make contact with your elected officials. Everybody thinks that the presidential race is the most important ones. Not though, actually the most important ones are the ones that are going to be in office for a very long time. And those are your Congress and your senators that you really have to hold to the fire and hold them accountable for their actions, and let them know how you're feeling, and just let them know that you do not support candidates that go against the Second Amendment.
Yeah, there was literally one of the ladies that's running Tina for city council. She typed in the room. There was 3 people there tonight. 3. This was their first read, so we really have to pay attention. Someone figure out when the next meeting is, and I think we should flood city council, and we should all have a say. And just because Philly's doing it, I don't want. Listen, Erie's on a path to be like Philadelphia. Let's not keep going down this path.
I absolutely agree. I don't want to be like Philly. If you've ever just stepped foot or walked around downtown, you totally will want to leave immediately after being there.
No, I totally get it. But yeah. So any other final comments? We'll wrap this thing up, or running just a little bit late because of technical problems. But I want to personally thank you. I know you and I have spent a lot of time talking, texting. It was fun to go through the whole Erie 8 thing, going to court. That's where we met Joshua Prince. And that's like, people are like, "Why are you supporting Joshua Prince?" I said, "Because that man saved my ass." That's why I'm supporting him, because he actually is not a guy that stands and goes, "I believe in the Second Amendment." No, this guy fights for the Second Amendment and other things too. But yeah, so any final words, my friend?
I'll just thank you for having me on your show today. I do appreciate it. And let's just hope that people show up and start either at least making calls, bare minimum, at least start making calls.
Oh, I totally agree. And we have to get people out and vote. The Republicans are struggling in this area getting people out to vote. We can make a change. We changed with President Trump. We got people out to vote. We took Pennsylvania. We took the popular vote, college electoral vote. We can do it. We just got to get people to do it. So I thank you for your time. Thank you for all the money and energy you have spent for our rights. And this is a guy that he would be walking down the street, you wouldn't even know him. But I'm telling you, for a while there, you couldn't go anywhere without anybody saying, "There's that just guy, that gun guy." So no, keep up the good work. Tell your wife and your family we said hello, and we'll bring you back on the show. I think we'll have to put in motion to stop and see our lovely city councilmen as they try to strip our Second Amendment rights away from us.
Absolutely.
All right, sir. Have a good evening. I appreciate your time, and we'll talk. Check out.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. There's the guy that's on the front lines of fighting, and all he asks is, come fight with him. And that's why we put the show together, and so we have the voice. Your local man, I'm trying to be so nice tonight. There's several podcasts. They're very liberal. They're not going to bring this up there. They're just going to bring up some nasty statistics. How many people have been killed? Da, 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 da. The conservative talk show channel won't touch this thing because it's a big scary gun thing, and he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So it's up to us. Hi, Kim Hunter. You're live. Thanks for waiting.
Hey, I got a good report for you today,
Oh,
sir.
what'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I was actually a very good girl for a change.
What's our report?
Well, it was hard too. Well, they did do the first read tonight, sneaky bastards. They did it at an evening meeting, so they'll
Right.
do second read at a morning meeting.
Oh, how convenient is that?
Yeah, and of course, Chuck and Jasmine are acting like little kids, but yeah, it was written by Titus and seconded by Chucky, your favorite guy.
Sorry,
And
hairball.
passed 7-0, and
No.
it's not just the ghost guns, which Hagzilla's there. She was all for it. It's also those adapters to make a gun into a machine gun,
Yeah.
supposedly.
They've already fought this one out, but again, they're just taking a play out of it. Whatever the knuckleheads in Philly did, they just put it through a Xerox copy. And they're gonna say, look at we're progressive. We have gun control. Really? Do you think the shootings in the city of Erie have anything to do with ghost guns? I would love to sit down with the chief of police and say how many of these have been done with ghost guns, how many have been stolen guns, because they're
Right.
not ghost guns. I would buy you lunch if they were ghost guns.
And how many have been done with guns that were stolen out of mom and dad's cabinet?
Oh, I totally agree. Or broke into someone's house, or they found it in an old abandoned house somewhere, or Billy Joe Jim Bob's got one or two laying around the house that he wants to sell you. But yeah, we know that this is all. You don't think they're not little shysters, and they're all planning and schemers. They're
Oh,
scheming this
yeah.
whole thing
So they
because
can have it on their little cards when they go door knocking.
we passed this, and if it gets shot down, they're like, oh, those big mean Republicans, they took it away from us.
Right. They want to protect your constitutional rights. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, because I want to protect my family from the I don't know what 5+ million illegals that are here that are breaking into people's houses, taking over whole entire buildings because and then they get their little knickers in a knot that we're sending them back. And we've got some great videos coming up after your call.
Oh yeah. And then yeah, I got to spend the morning, sitting in a room full of Democrats, watching them do the little balls, for positions. Now this is a good one though, because I hadn't watched the news before I left this morning. And I was wondering why they didn't pull the poll positions for the judges, because Mirsky has another Democrat running against her. Until you told me, and some people were telling me at the luncheon that, you know, she might not be allowed to run for judge.
Uh, nope. I don't know. I have been sniffing around. I haven't seen anything on the outcome of that, but it's a hearing, so I'm assuming. But it wasn't me. People are like, hey, did you do
No,
that? I didn't do it.
I
Because
didn't do it either.
I didn't do it. Because
No,
what it is the fact that she was a committee person and she's running for judge. This has already been established in a court case. You can't do that. Well, go
right.
figure.
And they even said it wasn't just the Republicans; the Democrats filed something against her too.
Right is right, wrong is wrong. And if you think, if you think the Mirsky family runs around here on a halo, there's people that absolutely hate him because you know what? I like Bob Mirsky, but what his politics suck. He
Fuck.
kept he
Yep.
kept us locked down. He played right into the hands of all the rest of his Democrat buddies with this lockdown. Made senior citizens sit in their beds and die by themselves because you can't touch them or you can't go near them. So if you people, why do you think the Democrat Party has a 27% approval rating? That's
Oh
exactly
yeah.
why. That is
Oh yeah.
exactly why they have a 27% approval rating because what they did, and now COVID's like, well, COVID's like a flu, don't worry about it. I'm going to worry about it because I could just go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm sorry, I'm with Kennedy. Okay, that COVID vaccine, it messed up my body. To this day, I still say my body's messed up from being forced. I was forced to take that as an employee of the school district, and I still say my body's messed up from taking that damn vaccine.
But my choice, my body. Remember, they love to play that card. My choice, my body. Until it came to the COVID bullshit, and then they're so mad about the government getting people that don't really work. How many military people it cost them their careers because they refused to take that COVID shot? Now, of course, we get a president that's not perfect, but he's getting it. Y'all come back in. I'll give you a rank. I'll give you your time and service, time and grade, and pay back. I'd like to see some numbers on how many people actually came back. I heard it was quite a few.
I heard it was almost 8,000.
I heard it was quite a few because we
Yeah.
spent millions to train these people, and because you won't take their shot, we're going to kick you out. Well, here we're just trying to kick out people from the government. Don't work. These knuckleheads kicked you out because you wouldn't take a shot. My choice,
Right.
my body. Trust the science.
Yeah.
It's all
And I'll tell
bullshit.
you, even some of my friends, that worked with me, that we
Oh,
were
I know.
forced to take that damn shot, and we are still not right.
The Kathy Dalkemper paid county employees over $600 to take the COVID shot. Your tax dollars. Yeah,
Oh my God.
they forgot how they forgot it. It's funny how they forget about this shit. When these Democrats force this down our throats, and they're like, "It's okay, don't worry about it, don't worry about it." No, you got then Big Mean Brenton Davis made them come back to work because they're working for home in their jammies and their slippers playing with their cat. No,
Yeah.
get back to work. And again, we
Absolutely.
can't do that.
Right. Well, so see that, so the judges race, their order is not picked yet. Their lottery is not picked yet.
Right.
Who knows about what's going to happen with Mirsky? But, let me see. Chucky, his number came in last.
Oh,
Yay.
poor
Aw.
Chucky. He's going to
Daria's
lose
number came up
anyway.
last.
Here, watch this
Yeah.
prediction. I predict Chucky loses.
I predict it too.
Yeah,
I predict it too.
he's pissed too many people off.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Jasmine's number came up first, but
Oh, she's
Hey.
number one in my book.
yeah. Oh, I know. You always like to wave the number one at her,
Oh.
So rude to my Brenda. So rude to my Brenda when we're at the parade,
Yeah,
but
like all her little snide comments at the St. Patrick's Day parade as we
oh,
drove by.
yeah.
Yeah, real
But
professional.
God was watching her ass because, like you reported, all of her little purple, signs blew away. I don't know what happened to them, Gwen, no, I didn't do it, but all of her signs blew away, but if anybody has a question on a placement or something, let me know. It was very interesting process, but I'll tell you, everybody's sitting in there. I'm the only Republican. I had some very nice people sitting next to me though. And, that Chuck Nelson, what a little kid sitting in the back row, would not shut up. Would not shut up. I finally turned around. I said, "Do you ever shut the F up?" And people turned and looked at me and they're like, "Thank you, Kim," because nobody could hear what was going on.
Oh Lord, I can't. No, but and that's the thing. He's. I'm surprised he wasn't back there. Now, God, please make sure you pick my number right. Yeah, I am one of your people. I am a pastor. I spread the word of you. Could you pick my ball first?
No,
Hey,
and I'll tell you what,
last.
he's gotten fat. He's really gotten
Listen,
fat.
I'm a chunky guy. I ain't taking no shots at chunky people.
Oh no, he's gotten fat.
I
I'll
don't
tell you what.
tell
You look
ya.
at pictures of him when he first got into politics, and now he's gotten fat. And I'll tell you what. And I even had some Democrats come up to me like, "Hey, Kim, thank you for telling him to shut up. We couldn't hear what was going on."
Oh, I know.
Because he wouldn't shut up.
I
But
get it.
it was awful. It was awful. But Brian, didn't you want to make an announcement today about the Erie Police?
Well, you know what? I tried to get the artwork up, but we're having some problems. But as your number one fan and someone that has really made sure you stay on the straight and narrow,
And you're my consultant.
Kim Hunter secured the Erie PD FOP Lodge 7 endorsement.
Thank you, Brian.
No,
Yes.
you earned it. I just kind of stuck in the right direction. It's like I just wind you up and you go. And let's think about it. They only gave 3 endorsements out. They gave one to Kim.
Right.
They gave one to Mrs. Sanfilippo. Nice lady. I got no beef with her. I talked to her at the parade. Said, "Hey man, good luck. You play this square and clean. You'll be good to go." And
she got number one in the pole position.
right. And of course our Republican that's running for sheriff, and we got to make sure that we really push to help him out because he's going to need a big push. I mean,
A big one.
He really is. I'm not concerned, but it's up to us to make sure we push him. And there's his name. Put it on the big screen.
Yep.
Nice
And
guy.
I talked to a lot of the sheriffs down there, and they are pushing him.
Well, yeah, because the good old boy, running around with your stinky dog in the
Mr.
courthouse.
Badass.
Well, I'm not doing that. He brings his dog to work and it sits there all day. So, are you running a dog daycare or are you running a sheriff's department? It's
Right.
ridiculous. The good old boys are down there, boy, but good luck. It's up to you. The ball's in your court. And but I said watch them pull out the dirty money from all over the place because Democrats they're in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble. And every time now they got Tampon Timmy out running around, doing his little woo thing. But he does it. I thought he was a governor. Why is he out prancing around like a whack job when he's supposed to be running a state? He's a governor.
Well, did you see he got into it with Governor Newsom on Newsom's podcast?
No, I thought they were
Oh yeah,
buddies.
they got in a heated debate because Newsom said we have to actually start listening to people or we're never going to come back. And Newsom said, "But they're all bad. They're all bad. I actually want to go and kick all their asses." And
Oh
Newsom
yeah,
said, "I don't think you have a chance."
yeah. I know. I did see that one. And of course, and then Tampon Timmy's running around. He goes, "I got this new smartphone and I have an app on it now, and it tells me my stocks. And I see Tesla stocks going." And he was all excited. He's excited that they're pushing back on a company for no real reason other than the cult party leaders have told them to, and they're crushing a company with people that
An
actually have
American company.
an American made company. But see, this is what exactly we've been trying to preach for years. These Democrats are not our friends. They're not. Go on YouTube and don't buy into the bullshit you see, because a 27% approval rating, everybody. 27. This is historically the worst approval rating from the Democratic Party in the history of the Democrat Party, right after they created the Ku Klux Klan. But hey, what do I know?
Right. And they said if Schumer is not their leader, they did a survey. Who would be their leader? 10%, the highest rating out of all of them, is AOC at 10%.
I know. I literally typed in, I was like, oh, please don't make her the leader because that would suck. And of
I
course, in
know.
parentheses, insert sarcasm here. Listen, if that's your best leader, my God, bring out the drinks. I'm buying, because you know what? It's going to be an easy roll for JD in a couple of years. Because
Oh, absolutely.
they
Absolutely.
and look what's happening. They're at 27% approval rating. They're getting their asses kicked all over the place. So what do? They resort to terroristic tactics. They're calling Musk a Nazi. They're buying posters and putting him like he's doing the swastika. But AOC and all the rest of those clowns did the whole heart love thing, and that's okay. That's okay. But they're hypocrites, just like the Hummers and the trucks.
And AOC's getting booed
right.
at her own town halls now.
I saw that.
I was loving it. I was rolling. I was so happy. I'm like, oh my God, Brian's right. I'm gonna have to take 2 naps a day from winning so much.
Yeah, and then she's got the nerve to call he's one of the dumbest billionaire. This guy just rescued our astronauts that nobody else could do. He did it.
Right.
His company
Well,
did it.
he rescued. Let's go a step further. He rescued the whole aerospace program.
We know that. We know that. And it was funny watching the whole thing, and he showed the booster rocket come down and kind of like park itself like in a knife container. I was like, Jesus, I can't even park my truck straight in the yard, and they're bringing a rocket and parking it. But hey, what do I know? And then of course they wouldn't bring the astronauts back. They were supposed to bring in another capsule, but it was made by Boeing, and there was a problem with it, so they brought them back in the X. And it was funny to watch. Was sitting there bobbing in the water. Dolphins came up and said hi. Dolphins.
I know.
Dolphins.
That was classic. Classic.
You can't make this stuff up, man.
Well, did you hear what Pam Bondi and Cash Patel said about them destroying all these Teslas?
They're going to make it a hate crime.
Now they're going across the country and doing it.
They're going to class as a hate crime. If you can burn an American flag and that's your First Amendment right, But if you burn a piece of crap Chinese made pride flag, that's a hate crime. But you can target a company. This is doxing. This is outright terrorism that they're focusing in on one company because of one guy, and they're getting their marching orders. And hey, people, just to let you know, before you go vandalize a Tesla, they have like 9 cameras on them. 9.
That was great.
And then
And they
people
got the
getting
guy on
caught
video
on video.
and still denied it. And he's wearing a
Oh, I
USA
saw
jacket.
that. Saw that.
I saw that. Classic. But Cash Patel and Pam Bondi said, we're going to find out who's funding the group that's doing this. And we're going to go after them for federal crime because they're doing it across the nation.
I'm not a lawyer or a cop, but you know what? This really smells like some RICO action. This is organized crime. I mean, if you guys want to impress me, slap some handcuffs on these people. Let's get the RICO statue warmed up. Then you will have my undivided attention, and the Democrats will explode.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for them passing this ordinance about these ghost guns and everything, and then they added on the thing about this attachment onto these other guns. I'm not sure if they're crossing into a Second Amendment or whatever. So I actually sent that stuff off to Joshua Prince because, I'm not sure that, it's like I said, when they wrote the thing about a ceasefire in Gaza, you know what? Stay in your lane.
Why don't you guys focus in on park benches? I literally was driving around downtown with your big sign on there, and if my trailer, I had to go over and check all the lug nuts because it's just absolutely horrible state street is. And these knuckleheads are focusing on ghost guns because it's going to top crime. But wait a minute. I thought building a new a multi-million-dollar project over on East 12th Street, the Eagles Nest for basketball, I thought that was going to stop crime. Well, it's not. It's all bullshit and band-aids. I like that one. Bullshit and band-aids.
I know. And did you see, just so you guys all know out there, when you vote for school board, research, just like the judges race, I told you, research who these candidates are because they can cross-file. And I was very shocked, not really shocked, but kind of shocked that Gary Horton is running for school board. This is a guy who's already got his bid in for Chris money for his nonprofit, a guy who got burnt in elementary school for a song for his nonprofit. And what has he done with it since he got it? Not a gall darn thing.
Well, yeah, they got they got all that grant money for the Savacchio Park. And I actually drove through there. I'm like, oh my God, they're actually doing it.
Well, you did you see what's going out there? It's a green hydroponics type of nursery, but you know who's doing that? The guys at the Booker T.
Oh, that I know. They came to us for money. We gave them some money. They wanted more. Then they got. I changed my mind. They asked for an X amount of dollars. I said sure, no problem. Then when I voted down. They're like, why'd you do that? Because it's bullshit. But yeah. But let's go ahead and bring this in for a landing.
Yep.
I got a lot of videos to go. We're running late, so we
everybody have a wonderful evening. Wonderful evening. Be careful who you vote for. We'll come back to you with more events coming up. In the meantime, have a blessed evening, everybody. Bye, Brian. Bye, Brenda.
Thanks. All right, Brenda, give us some videos, man. It's been like 45 minutes of me talking, and Justin, he's a good talker. We'll get him a haircut though. I know he's still on the show.
These two are back to back.
Okay, thanks.
Stephen, so the president last night said that President Biden's pardons of those involved in the January 6th committee are void. Does it mean that he might have plans to further investigate either January 6th or the 2020 election results?
Well, I mean, the president said, since this is an important point, by the way, it's not just that the pardons were signed with an auto pen. It's that clearly the former president, Joe Biden, had absolutely no awareness of or any clue about what was being signed in his name when he's on a beach in Delaware doing God knows what. In other words, you have all these instances where you can show that something was signed by an auto pen when Joe Biden was not even physically present, aware, around at all. And so the accumulation of evidence makes clear that Joe Biden had no awareness, no knowledge, no participation, and frankly, in the administration of government for 4 years, but in particular, in this case, with respect to these pardons, which then means, of course, the Department of Justice has its own authorities to pursue as agencies. Any other questions?
Stephen, on the same note, are you aware of any investigations that the president has called for into any of the people who were on the January 6th committee?
Well, I mean, the president has been clear publicly for a long time about his view about the misconduct that has occurred. For example, the erasure of all of the records, what can only be described as one of the most preposterous cover-ups that we've ever seen. And again, the Department of Justice has its own authorities and is able to pursue those under the direction of the Attorney General.
Raising the point that did the president even know about these pardons? Was his legal signature used without his consent or knowledge? And that's not just the president or me raising those questions, Caitlin. According to the New York Post, there are Biden officials from the previous White House who raised those questions and wondered if the president was even consulted about his legally binding signature being signed onto documents.
On the record talking about issuing preemptive pardons to these people.
But was he aware of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you should ask the Biden
Is
White
there any
House.
evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
Yeah, isn't that kind of like interesting where they can just sign stuff when the president's not even there? And I get it. Tina, here, I'll put that back up there. Tina put a comment up there. Also tonight, city council were complaining about the motorcycles gunning their engines and being too loud. But gee, I can listen to those little beep beep car rocket things with their stupid exhaust systems, and the little tiny cars with their stupid exhaust systems and their little music. But that's okay. Why do you think they shut down Roaring the Shore? Because they didn't want the motorcycles down there. Whatever, man. But other than that, yeah, Brendan, you got some more videos. Go ahead, play them up. This is great. Well. When you are a known gang member, people are like, oh, they didn't even get a trial. How do they know they're gang members? Because they have tattoos. It says they're gang members. I was watching some interviews, and the guy's like, how do you get a tattoo? Hey, man, you got to kill some people. You got to kill at least 4 or 5 people to get this tattoo. And don't you think our intelligence people know that? So this was the whole debacle where the judge, another whack job, Barack Hussein Obama appointee judge, that decided that we got to have these people have a fair trial because they're citizens. No, they're not. They got deported out, and the judge like, you bring those airplanes back here. Oh, sorry. You're too late. And that video is amazing how much time they actually put into that video. And it shows you, and of course, El Salvador is going to get paid some money to take care of you. Good, you take care of them. It's cheaper to pay them to go to a foreign country and let some other people take care of them. And man, some of the other videos, they're like stacked, like, I don't know, 6, 7 tall, no mattresses, nothing. Well, when you want to be a gang member, go around killing and rape and destroying, you get treated like one. It's like, I was watching a story where a guy at a federal penitentiary was mad because he was disciplined because they took his he took his, I don't know, it was a handheld PlayStation or whatever. So he was going on a hunger strike because they took his PlayStation away from him while he was in a federal penitentiary. Can't make the stuff up, people. I can't make it up. That's why we scour the internet looking for these stories. Yeah, Kim, they knew to do that. Never happened, sister. Trust me. Brittany, got another video?
The judge said he clearly ordered the government to turn those planes around. I know White House officials are saying you didn't defy orders in part because the orders came down orally while the planes were already in the air. Would the president have stopped those flights if the orders came before takeoff?
And the president will always follow the law, but this judge was too slow. We played a little game of catch me if you can, and guess what? The judge wasn't able to catch us on this one. But why would a federal judge in the United States of America prevent the president of the United States from enacting his Article 2 powers to do what he did when it comes to getting rid of the worst immigrants in this country? We are talking about terrorists in our countries, men who are preying on young women, who have raped, killed, and assaulted young women and girls in this country. President Trump had a commitment to get rid of these crazy people out of this country and send them back home, and that's exactly what he did.
Doom. Ha! Got the other camera up and running while playing the video. Right. And that's why these Democrats are mad. And why are they shocked this is happening? Trump said on the campaign trail, if you elect me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to deport these people. We're going to finish that beautiful wall. We're going to finish that great wall. And we're going to lock people. He told you it was coming, people. You still tried to lie, cheat, and steal to get him out of office. You tried to shoot him several times. It didn't work. Like the sign says over my shoulder here. We'll come back. Yeah, I won't come back. About get over it. We won. But did we throw down on the ground and have hissy fits when sniffy Joe Biden got elected? We didn't. We grumbled. We went on social media. Did we go burn cars down? Because that's what the Democrats do. They are the party of violence. And if you think they're not, pay attention. They're like, well, they're going to start a civil war. Start a civil war. I got plenty of toilet paper. Knock yourself out. I don't care. And you're gonna have a really, really sad ending. That's all I'll say on that. Brenda, video, please.
Something different. There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who does not think the U.S. represents the values of the Statue of Liberty anymore. They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country. Kelly.
Tell me that is not true. When the real Nazis were actually taking over, France basically just laid over. They didn't even really try too hard. It wasn't for the resistance that really kind of like hurt the Germans. And until we got drawn into the war, did it change direction. So they're like, you guys do not deserve the Statue of Liberty. Oh, you know what? You should be saying, let me see, Dankeschön, other than ciao. I just, again, I can sit here and ramble and I can sit here and do this. That's why we do the hybrid. We do the videos. We bring them in here. That way we can show you this isn't my words. These are other people's words that you're thinking those words and we're thinking these thoughts. So we're other people. You're not alone. Do not. And I tell people this all the time during the whole election thing with Kamala Harris. Do not buy the hype. Do not. It's psychological operations. It's psyops. They're trying to get in your head. They're trying to mess with your head. Don't let them in there. Don't. And guess what? We won. We won 2 great categories. 2. Popular vote. College electoral votes. Of course, now they're screaming, we need to get rid of the college electoral vote system. Well, isn't that convenient? You guys keep getting your asses kicked. You want to get rid of that system. How about that? How about a threat to democracy? Which, it's funny. You get these people on there like, this is a threat to democracy. Well, actually, we're a republic. So if you start using the terms right, we'll start actually maybe listening to you. Video, please.
Let me tell you what you guys may not know. She wants you to believe that she's straight out of the hood. Okay. She wants you to believe that she's the star of her own little gritty street drama, but I want you to hold on for a second. There's a plot twist. When it comes to Jasmine Crockett, the actual truth is she's more like a character from a high budget rom-com set in a pristine suburban neighborhood. Let's call it Fresh Princess of Dallas. She attended an elite private day school where the tuition cost nearly $35,000 per year. She ain't from the streets, y'all. This institution, known for very privileged clientele, and it provided her with the level of education and resources that many in lower income neighborhoods that she's trying to relate to could only dream of. So I want you to picture little Jasmine fresh out of her exclusive day school, rolling up to the playground in designer sneakers, ready to take on the world. Meanwhile, kids in the neighborhood are trying to figure out how to navigate the complexities of the ice cream truck schedule. She didn't have the struggle, folks. And then she went over to Rhodes College. Let me tell you what the tuition at Rhodes College is. Any guesses? It's $55,000 a year. Oh, little Jasmine was getting educated.
Buddy.
I mean, at $55,000 a year, I half expect her to show up in class in a ball gown sipping Dom Perignon while discussing Shakespeare and the finer points of avocado toast. But somewhere along the way, she traded her glass slippers for Ebonics. So let's be real. Jasmine is cosplaying a gangsta like she's auditioning for a reality show called Real Politicians of Privilege. Now, we can just imagine her strolling into a meeting wearing a hoodie and an oversized sunglasses while her assistant carries her $500 designer bag filled with organic snacks, rolling in to represent the streets with the mocha latte and the stock portfolio. So when she TikToks to they not like us, the fact is clear. No, she ain't nothing like us.
Right. And here's the kick in the teeth. Now that video is probably about 3 minutes long. Of course, this influencer cut it down, and they're sitting at a desk, and then they start this TikToking their tongue. These people are elected officials. We are paying their salaries. We are paying their staffers. We are paying for that building, their electricity, and they're screwing around playing TikToks, making TikTok videos. Why do you think the Democrats are losing? They're only at a 27% approval rating because they can't focus on what's wrong with this country. They sat around for years. The economy's great. Economy's great. Build back better. Build back better. Economy's great. And the second day Trump is up, why are the eggs so expensive? Well, you guys killed all the chickens. Swear to God, they killed chickens because the bird flu, allegedly. And then they had all these fires at chicken places, allegedly. But these congressmen and women are playing on TikTok like they're trying to connect to the little people. Now, does Donald Trump have a TikTok account? Absolutely. He's not. He's not doing that. He might do the. We get it. We get it. Again, 27% approval rating, and that's why we run 2 categories and run another video, please. Sorry,
After President Trump strafe-bombed the Houthis yesterday, he said that if they retaliate, he was going to personally hold Iran accountable for that. Holding them accountable, what would that look like?
Well, I would defer you to what the president put out this morning, John, where he said very clearly, I will read it, "Let nobody be fooled. The hundreds of attacks being made by Houthi, the sinister mobsters and thugs based in Yemen, who are hated by the Yemeni people, are all created by Iran. Any further attack or retaliation by the Houthis will be met with great force, and there is no guarantee that the force will stop there. Iran has played the innocent victim of rogue terrorists from which they've lost control, but they haven't lost control. They are dictating every move, giving them the weapons, supplying them with money and highly sophisticated military equipment, and even so-called intelligence. Every shot fired by the Houthis will be looked upon from this point forward as being a shot fired from the weapons and leadership of Iran. And Iran will be held responsible and suffer the consequences, and those consequences will be dire. That is a statement from the President of the United States just moments ago. I have nothing additional to share, but our message to Iran is you better take this president seriously, and I think the Houthis learned that the hard way this past weekend. As I said in my opening remarks, there's a new sheriff in town, and this president is not just going to sit on his hands and allow terrorists to launch attacks on commercial vessels and U.S. naval ships. Those actions will not be tolerated.
Well, well, well. Another promise made, another promise kept. These guys have been running rampant out there, doing their little pirate thing forever. It's done. It's over with, and I get that. And the countries are like, oh my goodness, you're so mean. We warned you. We told you. We're not doing it because it's good for you. We're doing it because it's good for us. And it's funny to have a president and it puts us first. Well, he's a billionaire. He doesn't care about the little people. Well, look, you know what? Then he's a damn good actor and trying to do a damn good job. It literally, if I could, I am not an electric vehicle fan. I'm not. I'm really not. I see the advantages. I see the disadvantages. The disadvantage is this thing called winter, and then there goes your electric bill. I swear, if I had the money, I would buy a Tesla truck, and I would probably get just Trump put down the side of it, to catch the knuckleheads trying to do it. It's got like 7-9 cameras in security mode, and these people are all getting busted. Video, please.
Absolutely picture-perfect landing, and now that ship, Dragon, is on a mothership, a SpaceX ocean ship that is sitting there, and they are all out of the ship. The world has been watching this crew closely after Butch and Sonny ended up on a very extended stay on the space station. SpaceX ground teams now assisting the astronauts. Also a medical team is helping them just off of the coast of Tallahassee. Again, could not have been better after 4,576 Earth orbits.
And now gently coasting to a soft splashdown.
Finally, after 286 days and more than 121 million miles, Butch and Sonny's original 10-day mission has come to an end.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
Inside that SpaceX Dragon capsule, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams on the space station since last June, after NASA became concerned that their new Boeing Starliner spaceship wasn't safe to bring them home. In September, they joined Crew 9 when astronaut Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov docked with the station. Late last night, all four began packing their spaceship for the ride home. Then, just after 1 a.m., somewhere over the Pacific,
Sonny Williams and Butch Wilmore began their belated trip home.
They pulled away from the ISS.
On behalf of Crew 9, I'd like to say it was a privilege to call station home.
To Crew 9, safe journey home.
Love you guys.
Travel time, 17 hours, from 17,000 miles per hour to 0.
It's loud, it's dynamic. That final splashdown into the water, it's like a very low-speed car crash. You feel the force of impact, you hear it, and then you're in the water waiting to be recovered by the incredible recovery team.
And begin readjusting to gravity, with NASA doctors watching for cardiac, blood pressure, vision, and neurological changes.
Their skin has been adjusting to the lack of gravity, and one of the biggest things is their actual coordination centers within their inner ear and the brain that's connected to it. So all of a sudden they get this shock to that system.
But tonight, Butch and Sonny's excellent adventure is finally over.
Tom, Sonny, and Butch both looking pretty happy to be back on Earth tonight.
A lot of smiles, a lot of thumbs up there as they both came out of their Dragon capsule ship and then were on board the surface ship. After a quick medical check on board, all four astronauts will chopper to a nearby airport where a plane is waiting to fly them to Houston. And that is where they will be reunited with their families and then undergo several days of medical examinations and mission debriefs. But Butch and Sonny, Alexander, as well as Nick Hague, they're all back on Earth, and all of them appear to be healthy. All of them appear to be happy this evening. Lester?
Yeah, then AOC is like, well, he's the dumbest billionaire I've ever met. Lady, you're a bartender. This guy builds spaceships. Have a nice day. So yeah, this is great stuff. It's again back to I think I might have to take a pre-bed nap because I'm just tired of all this winning. It's but yeah, I do apologize. I've had a little bit of a cough, and of course, Brenda was like, "Hey, show people our new. Let me see if I get this. Not this to do this right. There we go. Oh, there we go. Coffee. She's got coffee mugs. She makes custom coffee mugs. No, she does a lot of time, a lot of work, making this stuff, and she can put anything on them you want. This one is, of course, mine, and of course, it's got the QR code. Of course, it's double sided, so whatever side you pick up the cup from, you can always think of me. So yeah, need some coffee cups? Just get a hold of Brenda. She can make them up. If you want one of those, get a hold of Brenda. Again, that money helps supports the show and buying new toys that we can use and make our show a lot better. So I think we're coming down to just a last, I think our last video. This is cool. Oh. If that is not the coolest drone display you've ever seen in your life, I don't know what to tell you. I have a drone. I take it up. I take some pictures. I'm excited. I get to get it up in the air and fly it around and go left, right, and do some spinny, curvy, round thingies. I'm excited. I can't even imagine that. I know it's all computerized, but it's just an issue of yeah. Was that it from videos, Brenda? I think I don't see any on the deck, right?
That is it.
All right, cool. Well, hey, I know Chris was wanted to call in. Chris, if you wanted to call in, you can. I know you're doing that crazy Republican work thing, second shift to pay for your I don't know, your family and like dumb stuff, and maybe one or two extra rifles. Just saying. But yeah, so a lot of things we covered tonight. City Council coming in, sneaking an ordinance in there. Of course, we know it's going to pass. We know it's going to pass, and then of course it'll just end up being in court. And then they can say, "Oh, see, we did this," but then those big mean Republicans they took us to court. Yeah, courts are funny when they're going your way, but when they're not going your way, they suck. So yeah, that'll be interesting. It's gonna pass. I mean, I get it. It's a bullshit ordinance. Chucky Nelson and the gang. I'm shocked. Their solicitors even going, why are you guys even doing this? This is gonna end up in a huge court deal like it did. It is doing as we speak in New Jersey. But that's okay. We can honestly agree that they are not the sharpest tack in the box. And that's why, we do the show. We get people to come in on the show. We talk to people that are behind the scenes making things happen. They're not going to make the news because it's not, a puppy dog that got rescued. Uh, and going on like that. But so there was a couple things I wanted to put up. I said I would put it on the show. My host, my fire department, Benefit Fairfield Hose, we're having a purse gun bingo. Come on, guys. Purse gun bingo. Mind boggling that they're doing the two in one. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Now this was when I stole. You want some interesting reading? Read about this crazy lady. deported. And that whoever put this together with him waving goodbye from McDonald's, genius. Uh, she, this lady's a doctor. And then people are like, hey, man, she's a doctor. I wouldn't want her to operate me. Guys, she's a doctor. She's a PhD. She's not a real doctor. Relax. But she's been running around the states spewing her hate, teaching it at I got a camera, really higher education places. And she went home to a funeral at some crazy, I forget, terroristic safe haven. And then she had pictures of the funeral of this terrorist. So guess what? She came back to the country. She got stopped. She got checked. She got the visa deported. Bye bye. And this is why we don't like them. I don't care. We're gonna make America at least safe. Let's see this one here. Yeah. This one, Nancy asked me to say something on the show about a pathway to honest elections, Northridge regional event. The keynote speaker, Dr. Doug Frank, a Republic, if you can keep it tour. I like that. QR code, take a picture of that. QR code to give you more information. That will be April 7th, 6 to 8 at the American Legion in Waterford. I think that will be a great event to see Dr. Frank. And then, of course, there's the folks from Audit to Vote will be there having a presentation. I don't think there's a cost. Just please come down and support these patriots that are making the round. So just because Tampon Timmy's out there making noise, these people are on the road making noise too. So this is going to be a good event. I highly suggest everybody go mark it down or take a picture of it or rewatch the show or do what you got to do. So I just want to go through a couple of these real quick, just because they're fun. It takes a lot of effort. We played these before, and this is exactly why the there's AOC. Funny. The fact that they have a 27% approval rating, and here's why. And these these guys that make these cartoons are amazing. Amazing. Of course, Bernie Sanders leaving his mansion to give a speech on how capitalism is evil. If that is not the most truest little cartoon meme I have ever seen. This guy is worth millions, but then he's on there, you guys need we need to share the wealth. The billionaires of the world need to share their wealth. Yeah, this guy's worth millions, so they're freaking hypocrites. Of course, the Kim Mobile is out and about. A couple people sent me and Kim a picture, said, "Oh my God, we saw your name out on the road." So it's out on the road. We'll get some yard signs and we'll set up some. The weather gets a little nicer, some voter registration. And of course, we're supporting Joshua Prince. Of course, Justin was in there talking about Joshua Prince because he's the guy that actually saved our backsides, and we appreciate that. We won't talk about that one. But then, of course, we got this one is just absolutely cracks me up. Elon Musk is a genius. Electric vehicles are so much better for the climate. And then they get their marching orders from the cult leaders. Now they're evil. Now they're evil. And that's one really neat. Give us back. Oh, sorry. Give us back our kickbacks. I saw that one. I said, Brenda, please put this one up on the show. Please, 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 please. Dumb and Dumber. Jasmine. We just showed the guy talked about Jasmine. What's with the Jasmines? I don't know. I don't get it. We've got our own local Jasmine. It's a pain in the backside. We got this Jasmine up on the house. She's a pain in the backside. And of course, the dynamic duo. Great little AI stuff here. Let's see. We already talked about the purse bingo. We already talked about that one. We will go with the unofficial list of people that are running. Well, I know there's people that are running that aren't on this list. This is not a complete list. It's just a very cursory, quick reference. QR codes are right there. That'll take you to the website if you want to donate, get more information, get involved. Donna Reese is running all this stuff to make sure that we get this. And Brenda's hashtag vote red instead. Other than that, I think we're gonna throw just not my flag. I think we're gonna go with America first. And we'll give our sheriff a little extra love while Brenda gets ready to do our outro video. So if you play the outro, I appreciate it. Thank you all for coming in on this.
Work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming on this Wednesday night. I know the summer's going to get a little tougher. We'll play that by ear. Sunday matinees, we'll play that by ear, because if it's a great sunny day and we're on the motorcycle, sorry, I can't do it. We only get so much time. A special thank you out to Brenda for keeping everything together. I want to thank my extended family here, our online family. Sorry again. I've been have cough drops all night because I've been coughing. So thank you all. Be safe. Let's be careful out there. Things are going to change really quickly, and that 27% approval rating is going to really sink in. And I hope we can still be an American. Thank you. God bless. As we always say, Shank out.